Got it on Woot just the other day for, I don't know, not too much. I think it was 25 bucks, something like that. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I know I am. Anyways, that's what we're voiding today. It's got a nice heft to it. I kind of think this might be a value-added mass hiding in here. We'll see. So this came with an Amazon Wallwart 21-watt power supply. If things run short, we'll get into this too. And the only way I know how to take these apart is with a sledgehammer. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, welcome and thank you for spending some time with me today. I am happy to have you. Let's get to an overhead view. So here is the Echo Show. It's got a, I don't know what that is, 7-inch screen somewhere in that neighborhood. Grill, looks like acrylic grill for the speaker. Nice case. I mean, there's quite a bit of space this thing takes up versus the new ones. You should see how small those things are. As I go through this, if you do have any questions, I encourage you to ask them as we go. Okay, so we've got let's mute notifications there. So we've got a rubber base held on with some double-sided sticky tape. Nothing too fancy there. And then at the bottom, an interesting little programmable pad down there. Wonder if we can see that on a close-up cam. I've got close-up cams. It's a little blurry, but so there's a little, LGA looking thing down there. So interesting. Let's get back to the screen. All right, so we're going to have to find the right driver for those and start popping them out. And there are a lot of case screws. That looks too big. Maybe this little guy. Or is this too big too? No! I don't want it to be too big and fail. That's not it. Let's try this little guy. With my lousy sight, it looks like it's a 6 spline. So let's see if I manage to get it. If not, nope, feels like it's just spinning in there. If not, I'll have to come up with a plan B, but I don't want to come up with a plan B. Plan Bs are for people that plan ahead. I think I'm going to skip straight to plan H, which is hammer. Do I have... I don't know that this might be the first time that I don't have... Oh, no. Is that it? Let's see. If not, this will be the first time that I don't have the right bit in my little screwdriver kit. Nope, this is it. Picked this up a while back, and it has served me well for taking things apart, I'll tell you. Okay, so there's 4 that look like they hold the front case on. I'm not really sure yet. Looks like I might just need to go and pop the rest while I'm back here and see what happens, although I don't know why there's so many case screws on the bottom here. What they're attached to, we're going to find out. That could be the value-added mass that I imagine's in here. Value-added masses are great. They really let you know that something's expensive because it's heavy. Now, they also do keep things from sliding around your tabletop, so I guess they have a purpose, but I don't know. I think a lot of times they're there just to make things feel heavy. One of the first Mark Voids of warranties, I took apart a laptop that had a value-added mass in it, and it was to keep the laptop from tilting backwards. Now, were it me, I would have moved the laptop battery out to where that mass was, because they had it back near the spine, where it did absolutely nothing to counterbalance the screen of the laptop. They could have cut the weight of that substantially, eliminated the value-added mass, eliminated a part that had to be, you know, cast and machined, and lightened up the laptop all in one go. But they got stuck in a rut. It happens to the best of us. Okay, last screw. We don't yet need the hammer. Don't worry. We're going to need the hammer. All right, so there's... Oh, is there one under there? Or is that a blow mold location? Let's see. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, that looks to be all the screws. So now, let's see what it takes to get this thing open. If any of you out there have ever taken one of these apart, let me know. I never break into these things ahead of time, or at least I try not to, or try not to look, so that you get to see me suffer as I would in real time. Let's see. Do I have anything that might get in there? Might have to go for a spudger. All right. Let's see. Just try a screwdriver first. Doesn't feel like it even wants to pretend to move. No, there's nothing underneath there that's giving me any hint it's going to make my life easy. It's almost like that front is glued on. And it might be. I doubt it. It's probably snapped on. But, okay. Well, then. Time for Plan H. All right, we have an opening. Do you guys like the creepy maniacal laugh? I used to do that on Halloween. I had this voice amplification system in my classroom, and I would turn on a voice changer, so it would drop my voice like 2 octaves, and then I would laugh like that and go from, you know, this maniacal laugh to just flat affect just in an instant, you know. Kids were like, Mr. Hughes, stop. It was pretty great. Okay, there has to be an easier way to get this apart. I just don't know what it is. So there's a frame that goes around the edge of this thing, and that frame is what I am destroying at the moment. Man, it is really cemented in there. It It makes me think that I probably would have had to get some heat on this to get into it. Come on. The heat usually loosens up the adhesive. Once that's loose, you can peel it up with little effort. But man, I tell you, this thing does not want to come apart. Good for strength, bad for repairability. You would certainly need a hot plate or something to be able to heat this whole thing up and get it apart when you needed it. Man, oh man, oh man. Still can't get anything out. Okay. Back. Whoops. If not, we're just going to have to patiently work our way around this. And you know me and patience. Don't have enough of it. If I had enough patience, I would have been a doctor. Ba-doom-ts. Don't worry, folks. I'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip the waiter or waitress. Okay, we're doing progress here. Getting underneath there. Slowly, ever so surely. Yeah, there was no way I think I could get under here in a reasonable amount of time without destruction. Okay, still working. I'm going to be sad if there was an easier way to get into this. But I'm pretty sure you'd need heat. If anybody out there is on iFixit that can tell me, I'd love to know. All right, come on. Oh, I see my viewer count went down after that last joke. That is sad. It was a good joke, too. The doctors. Because doctors have patience. Yucca, yucca. All right. I need more grabability without putting the screwdriver through my hand. My poor little spudging tool here. Come on. There we go. That felt like progress. A minor bit of progress, anyway. All right. Did you guys come for a Mark Voids warranty, or did you come to watch me fight a piece of plastic? Because right now, I'm doing a whole lot of plastic fighting. Is this what I get for making fun of it? Making all those cracking wise about value-added masses. Okay. Let's see if I'm going to come back live. After a brief technical difficulty. Am I back? I might be back. So, I hit things too hard, like really too hard. Yeah. I knocked the power supply out of the switcher. Sorry about that, switcher. It's my bad. I feel bad about that. What does that teach us, kids? Violence is not the answer. Now, there's another lesson to be had. There wasn't a Mark Voids of Warranty last week. Did you notice? Yeah, it was the holidays. Since there wasn't a Mark Voids the Warranty, I didn't get to destroy anything. Now, typically when I destroy things, I take the circuit board out and I put it on the wall of my office and I leave it there as an example to the others. I didn't do that. Didn't do that last week. So what that means is these things have gotten brave. They're starting to fight back. We can't have that. That's how you get Skynet to take over. Hi, Chester. Yes, Chester, I know. Chester tells the viewing audience that he says hello. And he is happy to sing you the song of his people. I tell you, I can't believe that this has given me this much grief. This is really quite exceptional. Come here, buddy. Come here. There you go. I never would have imagined if we ever get a video editor, they're going to edit all of this out. You'll never see it. But for now, I'm doing it live. And I tell you, I have never regretted that decision more than I do right now. Wow. Just absolutely tremendous level of difficulty. Yes, Chester, I'll be patient. I know. All right. So we are continuing to fight. I am now 20 minutes in. I've cracked the LCD in several places. Oddly enough, not by hitting it with a sledgehammer. So I am still fighting the glue that is all around the perimeter of this, in hopes that is the secret to getting inside. And thank you for your patience there. I do realize I lost you. It took me a little while to troubleshoot what the problem was. And the problem was I had hit the desk so hard that the power adapter bounced out of the power switch. Okay, let's get the spudger back in there and see if we can't get in here a little more. All right. Making progress. Slow progress, but progress. Welcome back, loyal viewers. All right, so what you're seeing is certainly the wrong way to open up one of these. Boy, I tell you, at this point, I might take the sledgehammer and go right through the LCD, except for it would create all sorts of broken glass that I would inevitably cut myself on. And the boss hates it when I bleed on camera. Okay. I don't know, man. You'd think I'd learn from this and not badmouth these devices before I take them apart. But I know me. I learned nothing. Okay, there is a little piece of rod. I tell you, at this point, that thing is so well secured, I have to wonder if I'm missing something hidden back here. Those bottom screws seem to me to be the answer. I still think it's glued in. Yeah. I am out of luck. We're going to have to keep going at that front bezel. Man, oh man, oh man. All right. Well, we've come too far. We can't give up now. See all those cracks? We can't stop. Whatever glue they used, it is excellent. Even small little pieces here, I can't get underneath it. Okay, now we're left with the top, it looks like. Nope, a little bit there. So, dear viewer, I have to ask, why are you still here? Oh, man. Like, I'm glad you're here. I hope you're enjoying yourself, watching me suffer. I do. Yes, hi Chester. Chester is a good boy. He says hi. He's watching me thinking I'm nuts. And you know something? He might be right. Come on, we're close. We're close. This has been the longest time to open of any Mark Voids warranty. It would be great if I had a circular saw handy to rip through this thing that way. Because this has absolutely been insane. Whoever designed this did not care two rips about repairability. Not even a little bit. Okay. Now we've got a concern. I've made my way all the way around, and I'm still not in. There are a couple locations that are holdouts. I've removed all visible screws. This thing isn't even close to wanting to come out. Boom, boom, boom. The plot thickens. Let's get another spreader in there at the bottom and see what we can do. All right, there goes a speaker grill, some felt that is acting as a, I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's just there to make it look like there's solid behind that grill. Okay. Alex, I hope you were watching. I used the hammer. You can make sure to tell Christian to watch this one. He loves it when I hit stuff with the hammer. Okay, I see more screws. All the screws seem to have the same head on them, which is cool. That does make disassembly a little bit easier. I tell you, this thing has earned a place on my wall. At least parts of it. I need other devices to know what's going to happen to them if they dare resist my efforts to see what's inside. Let's see, are there any more? Whoop. See if there are any more screws around the edges here that maybe I can't see. I don't feel any. Doesn't mean that there aren't any there hiding. Just means I don't know about them yet. All right. How is that still together? How is that still held in place? What am I missing? Let me get a stainless one in there. You've got to be kidding me. What is possibly holding? Are those screws? Those can't be. I can't even see those. Let's get to an overhead view. Even then, I can't tell if these are screws or... Oh, those dirty rats. Well, engineering-wise, this thing is good. This thing was put together well. Too well. I mean, they've got adhesives that are really, really strong, that held on a speaker grill, that hid a bunch of hidden screws. They've got adhesive that is just second to none. This thing was never meant to come back apart. And then they've got these screws where my old eyes can't even really see them. I mean, those looked like just plastic injection spots to me. We are now 30 minutes in. I've hit this thing so hard with a sledgehammer that I've knocked power out to my video recorder. I've cracked the LCD 30 different places, and I am still not inside. Honestly, if I was in the garage right now, this thing would have been in the bandsaw a long time ago. Or a circular saw. It would have been in some saw. Okay, I can't tell if those are out or not. Or if I'm spinning. I can't even tell if my screwdriver's in them. It could be next to them. It doesn't feel like I'm engaging. It feels like I'm just spinning on the top. So let's see if I can get under there and figure out what piece of plastic it's attached to and clip that piece of plastic. Let's see. We're not going to give up. No, we're not giving up. We're going to get into this thing. I don't care how long we have to stay on the air today. We are voiding this warranty, people. You're with me. You're in it now. You can't leave. You've spent 35 minutes watching me hack at this thing. You can't give up. I can't give up. Let's go back to a wide angle. Ow. Okay, this thing's going one way or another. How else can we do this? What else am I missing? It's got a metal frame in there. I can see that. Why won't it come out? More adhesive, I bet. I bet you there's more adhesive in here. I bet you I just removed the adhesive that held the bezel on, and while it was strong, it's nothing compared to the adhesive that's holding the part in the frame. Man, it won't even pry. What the heck? All right, there in TV land, I see more screws. They're hidden. How do we do this? So this thing is held together with screws that are barely visible. See them under there? They're hidden under the bezel of this glass, which is again glued in place. Huh. So you need the plastic gone to get underneath the glass. You need the glass gone to get to the screws. This is certainly a job for a hot plate. We're going to get it. We are going to get it. At least now we know what's going on. So there's a punch. Let's get another punch in there. Or some titanium. So every place this thing is stuck, we've got a screw that needs to be extracted. Except we can't get to the screws without releasing a bunch of glass. And then the glass is going to cut me. And then I'm going to get in trouble at work. And then, we got this, okay. What else can we do? I feel like I need a change of ideas. Anyone out there in TV land have any ideas? How do I get to those screws underneath the glass? I'm open to them. See, there's one right in there that I need. Come on. Mark smash. All I can say is You have got to be kidding me with that. That assembly was insane. So all of these tiny little, 1.4 millimeter, whatever these things are, no size to them at all, were holding the front case to the back case. On top of that, you've got LCD glass glued in place. And on top of that, you've got that plastic bezel glued in place. There's no way to get this thing apart safely. You would have to heat the whole thing up and let the heat loosen the glue. Then you could work your way around. But I tell you. So those little pieces, those little tiny screws that I had before were connected to a piece of metal that really didn't seem to do much. This is what those things went into. This piece right here, just a flimsy little, I don't even know what it did. There was a ground strap on it. I mean, that was cute. I haven't seen that much attention to detail. I don't know why they did that. See, it's a little braided and tinned ground strap. It's cute. Don't know why, but I guess they did. I damaged the speakers. Of course I did. Let's get those out of the way. That's the wrong. Is that the wrong? Yeah, it's the wrong one. We'll keep that handy, just in case. Let's see about this guy. There we go. So we're going to pull those speakers out. We are now 40 minutes in, and we are finally getting to the point of Mark voids a warranty. You watched me struggle. You watched me fight. I always prevail. And if these devices realized that earlier, we could save each other a whole bunch of aggravation. I mean, do you think this thing really wants to go to the landfill looking like this? I don't. There's no honor in that. Just shame. All right. Speaker. It's actually pretty deep. I don't know. So there's speaker 1. Here comes speaker 2. I don't believe Amazon designed this product. If I remember correctly, another company made it, and Amazon acquired it. Come on. There we go. And then Amazon made the future iterations. Maybe with those same engineers. I don't really know. Need to make friends with an Amazon engineer and ask those kinds of questions. All right. We've got, we haven't gotten into them yet, but we've got a board up here that controls a lot of the audio hijinks. And another one down here that looks like it does power and maybe speaker amplification. Not entirely sure. We're going to find out. And then up here we've got the, well, what's left of the LCD. It and I got into a fight. Looks like we've got a wireless antenna of some sort. Need to go back to that small one. And a bunch of broken glass. So what do you think, Alex? Did you have fun watching me fight that? That is an interesting antenna design. We're going to look at that in a second here. So we've got Kapton and other tape's holding that stuff down. But check this out. This thing is, I don't know, like 1, maybe 2 ounces of copper. Let's see. Where is... There we go. So we've got 1 or 2 ounces of copper. It's not much at all. And then a copper backer. So the antenna is completely flexible. Just a little typical F-style antenna. You'll see those made on PCBs pretty often, but here they just made it on tape. I haven't seen that. That's interesting. Interesting way to do it. I wonder how easy it is to attach, you know, to do the soldering. Don't know, but it's interesting. So now we are going to start removing all of these screws. Again, man, I am amazed that that glue, or that was glued together so thoroughly. I would hate to be the guy that has to repair these. If there even was a guy that repaired these, or if they just threw it all out and gave you a new one. I don't really know. But it would have been easier with a hot plate of some sort. Okay, what's holding it in now? I've got a ZIF. It's under tape. Let's see if that's doing it. Zero insertion force, ZIF connectors, are very interesting, but also pretty fragile. Pretty easy to break out if you're not careful. Okay, that's free. Come on. All right, that one's free. One more. So a lot of off-board connectors here. Can be something of a pain. Also an increased cost. But yeah, that's a lot of connectors to go off-board. We'll have to figure out where all those things go. All right, so here is a board that is directly behind the LCD. Some interesting and very cool design practices. So this is a board designed for test. All of the test pads are on one side of the board. You can kind of see them there. And it looks like they're not named anything meaningful. It's just TP10 whatever and whatnot. Let me zoom in here and we'll see if there's anything. Yeah, now you'd have to have the original schematic for those things to mean anything to you. Then on the back side, we've got everything covered in RF shielding, and it is soldered in place. So we're going to let it live a happy life for the time being. All right. So further up here, one of those ZIF connectors is a camera. It's got a little shielding, little bracket. So just a tiny little camera so you can see and talk to people. I don't know what this one is. It's another ZIF connector. Ambient light, maybe? It could be. It's a lot of work for two little devices. I'd have to pull out the microscope to see if that one's an LED. It's probably an LED. And I would guess this one's some sort of ambient light sensor. just so it can adjust display brightness. There is what's left of our display underneath there. No, this is just a backing plate, and then the display is further down. I don't know if you noticed during teardown, but I got a couple scratches in the display. They'll buff out. I think I read a trick somewhere where you can put a little super glue, and you won't even see those. No, you won't even see those. Man, here's something interesting, though. No value-added mass. I was wrong. This thing is just heavy. Thick plastic, heavy speakers. Man. All right. Continuing the teardown, I'm going to see if I can't get the audio board out. So these things have very carefully matched MEMS microphones in them that they're able to look at the time delay or the phase difference and figure out what direction a sound is coming from and do some beamforming in that particular direction. Really quite a bit of clever engineering. Let's see. Nope, there's another one. The MEMS, and I'm sure there's an excellent reason for it, and I'm sure if I sat down and thought of it, I might be able to come up with it, but most of them are reverse mounts, so they'll pick up audio through a hole in the board. Okay, I think we got it. There we go. So we've got a couple just tactile switches so that you can, you know, push power, mute, whatever. And then a piece of foam to provide some vibration dampening. Where are the audio? Oh, that's these guys right here. These are the microphones, and we're staring down into them. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so an 8 microphone array. So it can do beamforming and all sorts of stuff. So it looks like each pair of microphones gets its own IC. So then my next question would be, who processes that data? Looks like it goes along the mic cable into this board. And then into these RF shielded doohickeys. Well, I don't know about you, but I want in one of those now. You want in one of those? I want in one of those. Let's not tell HR about what I'm about to do, okay? Risk management might object. Yeah. Do. They can't call me because my phone's on mute. Do. Here we go. Let's see if that will go. All right, so underneath door number 1, this is going to be neat to look at, but I'm actually probably going to have to be a little more careful about how I remove this stuff. Let's see. I'm sure that's fine to breathe. Nope. Okay, I might have to pull out some soldering tools so we don't damage this. But it looks like, at first glance, all of this stuff, we're going to switch to the microscope view next. all of this stuff is run on internal layers. Give me just a second here. What I mean by that is there's no surface traces. So the top layer is a copper pour. So you can't really see where any of these traces go. So they go to internal layers. So they're going to extraordinary lengths to eliminate any RF noise that might affect these things. But yeah, copper on the outer layers. And I think this is the same thing. So we don't get to see much in the way of routing practices because they're on other layers. Interesting, interesting. There's a damaged ZIF connector. And I was being so... No, I guess it's okay. And I was being so careful taking this apart too. Our antenna. Boy, I tell you, this one was an adventure. I think we need to keep working on this off camera and get this thing taken the rest of the way apart. See what there is to see. There's a lot of money in this thing. I mean, you've got 4 or 5 different printed circuit boards. Combination of flex, rigid flex, and rigid boards. You've got, let's see what's going on this board. I've got one more board. All sorts of, I assume, high-end components. You know, we still haven't figured out what the main microcontroller running this thing is, but I'm sure it costs $1 or $2. So I think these original ones went for a couple $100. Getting something to work and then getting something to work while dropping the cost are 2 different design challenges. Designing for repairability, yet another design challenge. And I don't know what to tell you there, people. Fail on that one. You had to know at some point I was coming. And I was going to want to take this thing apart. If you didn't, you should. Electronics tremble when they hear my name. Okay, let's see. More screws. Almost there. A lot of really big electrolytic capacitors. There we go. Oh, even more screws. How about that? Let's go to narrow view. So we've got a bunch of big electrolytics that are potted in place. One thing I did notice on a lot of these PCBs, at least the ones that I've held in my hand so far, is they're thinner than normal. They're not your typical 1.6 millimeter. They feel like 0.8s or thinner. I'd have to pull out a set of calipers to determine exactly. But one of the reasons that you do that is because it allows tighter coupling to the return paths on adjacent layers. Thinner boards, less dielectric for the fields to pass through. Now, typically, an 0.8 millimeter board costs you the same as a 1.6 millimeter board. So it's an inexpensive way to have less noise, better signal integrity, better power integrity, for no extra money. It's kind of nice. All right, so here we are on the bottom here. We've got a, this is the external programming test connector along with, I don't know what that is. Almost like some sort of a USB. Maybe that was a programming header of some sort. Plenty of test points for when they assembled this. Relatively solid copper ground pour. Just a few jumpers on this back side here. And then we've got something here. Looks like a TI part. 6CAJ8STG4 TPA3118. I'd have to look, but is that an audio IC? I don't know. There's a lot of symmetry here. Makes me think we're running 2 channels of something, but I could been wrong before, could be wrong still. And then with pots that big, you typically do get quite a bit of inductance, so you still need a ton of decoupling caps. And those look like some relatively high value, maybe like a 10 microfarad and a 1. I forget the colors on those things. Interesting, interesting. Check out the shininess of U2334 and U2333. I'm interested to know what those things are. Are you? Let's find out, dear viewer. Let's find out. We're close. Let's see. Right about there, maybe? And let's enhance. Come on. (7.3x3n 39n). Which one was that? So they're just shiny metal topped ICs. Okay. Yep, 73x39n. You can see some HDI design practices, like that little teardrop thing that looks like it goes nowhere is a teardropped microvia. Just goes down a layer or so. And then if you use your imagination, up there in that copper pour, you can see just these little light, slightly darker green circles. And that is via stitching. That connects the top copper pores to the bottom. Big fat resistors, I don't know what for. Microvia, where did that one go? Microvia in a test pad. So, interesting, interesting. Boy, I tell you, the things we could have done if we hadn't spent 45 minutes getting through the case. Those look like they're selector switches for something. Let me back up here. So you've got some, what I assume are 0 ohm resistors that are tied to one power net, and those can be put in the other position there. It appears, or maybe that's for even more. Maybe they're not selectors. Here is something that, let me zoom out even more, that I like to do. It takes a lot of time and you don't get a whole lot of return on your time investment. But that's doing copper pores for power nets. So, interesting. All right. That was one for Mark Voids the Warranty History books. I never had that much trouble getting into a case of something, especially on camera. Typically what I would have done is long before that happens, I would have just gone at it with a saw of some sort and just taken that back clear off and to see what was going on. But even knowing now how this thing was put together with all of those lousy, press fit connectors and threaded screws, I don't know that I'd be able to get into this with significantly less damage, right? Once you crack an LCD, it's done. It doesn't matter if you crack it twice. If you crack it once, game over. I just don't see how I could have gotten in past all that adhesive. You know, even now where I've got the adhesive liner free, I don't know what it's glued on with, but it is really good glue. The foam stuff here, this is a little leftover adhesive that was holding everything together. It was glued on both sides. It is not coming off. It is stuck in place. I can yank a little bit of the foam, but that adhesive isn't coming with it. So whatever they used, it was good stuff. Too good. So I hope you enjoyed Mark Voigt's Warranty. It's over now. We both survived. Barely. My soul's intact. This board's going on a wall. I'm going to remember this. And I want my electronics to remember this for next time. I always prevail. It's just, how much pain do you want to experience before I do? It's what you got to ask yourself, electronics. So, anyways, thanks for joining me. We'll be back here next week, same time, with Mark Voids a Warranty. And check out, if you haven't already, the Teach Me PCB Discord server. Hope to see you there.